I suppose first of all, how's the recovery here?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, Grant was only against Cork. It was more precautionary than anything. I was actually scheduled to play against Galway the week after, or 2 weeks after, but it was called off, and then just got a little procedure done on my ankle then last week. Just another top up from the operation from last year, and missed the weekend, but we're back training now, so all is good.
Okay, yeah. So did you head to the hospital that night in Cork, or did you?
Yeah, I got out. I got home about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I was in the neck brace for about maybe 4 or 5 hours. So fairly frustrated now trying to go to the toilet, but all was good. No major injuries, just pretty sore, no concussion. So it was all good.
There's a lot of talk about concussion these days. Just interested to know what were the protocols that they went through with you to say he's fine.
The protocols are the same for nearly every sport, I suppose. They just go through the questions, and then if they feel that you haven't passed the questions enough, you go inside, then do further tests. Then it's like a memory test. So I didn't even have to do that, So I've got concussions before and stuff like that, but the protocol around concussion, especially in our group, anyway, is top notch. There's never any doubt from the doctor if he feels that you're anyway incapable, he'll whip you out.
Did you lose consciousness or lose feeling in your legs at any stage?
I think it was just more the way I landed now than anything else. I didn't really lose consciousness or anything like that. I was just kind of felt a bit numb because it came down so hard or whatever. I lost feeling in my arm, but that was about it. There was nothing major. I said it to the lads when I was lying on the pitch. I said I'm perfectly fine. The first thing I said was my helmet broke, so that's all I was worried about. And it was just precaution by our doctor and then by the Cork medical team as well, who were good enough to come in and give a hand as well. So it's just precaution more than anything,
Was the helmet broken? Was the helmet broken?
No, it wasn't broken. No, thank God, no.
It was interesting to hear you say there about making your debut with Owen Kelly and then replacing him the next week. I didn't know any of that, but what's it like then having him back in with you this year? Must be
yeah, like I spent 2 years playing with Owen. It's always like an honour. Myself and Owen come from, we're about maybe 10 kilometres and live 10 kilometres away from each other. We're big, huge rival clubs against each other, So that sense, but Owen has always been a friend of mine. He was best friends with my brother growing up. He was in my house most days after school and stuff like this. But to have him back in the coaching setup is like, if Owen Kelly talks, you listen, and the wealth of knowledge that he has, being one of the greatest hurlers of all time, is something that you listen to, and you can hear Shamey as well. Shamey always goes on about that. Just listen to him, and for the likes of me, like I'm a good bit older than most guys, but for these 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds to be able to deal or to be able to listen to Owen Kelly when they come in training is invaluable.
His official title last year, I think, was free take coach or whatever, but like
free take coach. Yeah,
I'd imagine he was doing a lot more than that.
No. Last year it was just free take coach with myself, Seamus and Jason, and that was basically it. That's what he was. He was just a free taking coach, and obviously if any of the lads have any questions for him or wanted to go over and talk to him about any of his experiences or any advice, obviously he's there to lend his time. But last year Owen was there maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, but this year he's actually been given a selector's role, so he's been good to have in around the group, and so he's such a positive fella then as well, and best of all, then he's a good bit of crack as well, so that's good as well.
Was there any little nuggets of advice he would have gave you last season just about taking frees, how you approach it and that sort of thing?
Yeah, he would have went through a lot of stuff with us, but the first thing he always says is that everyone's technique is different, and he just tried to explain that his technique changed over the years for injuries and stuff like this, but just whatever about the frees, but from open play then it's just small few things that he might give you a bit of advice on, and they're invaluable. It's only a small thing. It might be an extra pint or an extra pass in the game, and it might be valuable.
Can he teach? I suppose what some people might say the unteachables, like the fact that he was such a big game player, he never missed a free in an All-Ireland final and all of that. Can he pass on anything in there? I don't think so. For last year, he would have done a good bit of work with us for frees and stuff like that. But it's just his knowledge and what he's done in the game. He carried Tipperary for years and years and years. And if you go up and ask him a question, he's more than happy to sit down with you and go over it with you. He's brilliant to talk to, and he's completely different to everyone else that we have in the setup then as well. He's completely different to Tommy and completely different to Dara. So
you know what he brings is slightly different, you know.
Do you get the feeling with all the younger lads this year that they're really trying to push on now and break onto the team, because it's such a difficult forward line quickly to break onto, but you can see this year that a lot of them are really pushing on.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, like a lot of them are getting game time in the league there this year, you know. So they are pushing on. The likes of Mark Keogh and Jake Morris, they're like Keane Darcy. Like the potential that's there is huge. It's just about trying to take that chance when you get it, and by the looks of it, they're taking their chance, and Liam is more than willing to give them their chance. If they're showing it in training, matches or challenge matches or whatever, Liam has no problem throwing him in. You know, like Shamey started his first game the weekend. You know, I haven't played yet. You know, Noel McGrath hasn't played yet. He came on for a few minutes the other day. So like, there's Dan McCormick is only back from club duty. Like, you know, so you know, it's he's given the lads their chance, and at the minute they're holding on to the jersey.
It's different, Sean, when you see them, like obviously when the 21s and the 20 last 2 years, it's different. You see an influx of these fellas coming in, but like you're obviously you're 26, 27 at this stage. It's a different kind of dynamic in the panel.
It's not really, because last year I think there's 10 of them joined the panel, and you can see the enthusiasm that they brought straight away. Like, you know, young lads just coming in, like, they don't look at it as if they're hurling pretty great. They just see it as they're going out having a bit of crack in playing a hurling match or doing a bit of hurling training, like, you know. And to be honest with you, we actually fed more off the young lads than what the young lads fed off the leadership group or whatever, which is kind of, it's not really known. Like, it's usually the younger lads coming to the older fellas or whatever, but we actually fed more off them because of the way that they approach stuff. They approach stuff with kind of no nothing on their back, like, you know, no pressure, anything like this, and I think the older fellas kind of fed off that then.
Is the league the only thing you haven't won?
The league is the only thing I haven't won. Yeah,
So,
last 3 finals.
And there must be a lot of players on your team then.
We've only one league medal. Yeah.
Yeah. Then obviously you're not near the end as such yet, but you would want to win one before it's all said and done.
Yeah, saying like in the last 6 years we've been in 3 finals, so you know, obviously not a good record in them, but yeah, it's something that we want to win. Obviously this year is going to be a lot harder to win because we started back our training a lot later than usual, and it's been tough, and training has been tough, but we're getting there. Two wins gets us back in the race, you know.
But is it difficult to find that balance where, like, I suppose if you're in that mindset, you're like, oh, we'd really love to win a league title this year, but everyone's always talking about finding that balance between not peaking too early and you don't want to, I suppose, ruin your championship as such.
Well, it's not peaking too early. The more league games you have, the better for championship, because they're competitive games. Like 20 minutes in a league game is better than 50 minutes in a training match or a challenge match. Like, you know, so the more games that you can play competitively against opposition is going to benefit you in the long run. Last year we were very disappointed to be beaten by Dublin in the quarter final. We feel that if we got to a semi-final and a final, that we would have been even better come championship. But you know, Dublin were much better than us on the day. We have a chance win two games and we're back into a quarter final, which gives us a chance then to have another 2 games.
It's this time of year about getting a big body work under the belt. Like we saw last year, it was almost different teams. You look like between the side that lost to Dublin in the quarter final and the side that beat Cork 6 weeks later.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You have to get all your work done now. We're only back since the start of January or whatever. It's been tough, big block of work to be done, but then again, coming into games, like, it doesn't matter how tired you're feeling. Once you have a competitive match against your Galways or your Limericks or your Corks, whatever, you're going to be up for it, and you're not going to feel that tiredness, like, you know. So we are slightly behind other teams, but we're getting there, and we'll be there in the next couple of weeks.
Everyone's talking about the black card, obviously, and it's going to vote on it or whatever at the weekend. I'm sure for players it seems as if nobody wants to say this happened.
No, I think it's just a conversation that's been had, and people wanting to change the game. I don't know why they want to change the game, because it's still the best game in the world. Like, you know, it's field sport, it's fast, but bringing in a black card would, in my opinion, would absolutely completely ruin the game, because, you know, like, you have to have that pulling and dragging from a defender. You have to have that hard hitting. You have to have all this sort of stuff like that people are trying to bring in to take it out of the game. you completely lose your whole GA aspect, your whole hurling aspect if you start bringing in these black cards and pink cards or whatever. It completely ruins the game, and it's going to ruin the game. The game is perfect the way it is. I'd say leave the game the way it is and stop trying to change it. If it's not broke, don't change it. Like.
Is it frustrating that they don't include the current elite level players in these? Because obviously it's happened a lot in football with rule changes. This is the first time in hurling, but players seem to be in the dark about it all.
So that's the thing. Players aren't questioned on this. They're questioned on at the end of the year by the GPA, like in a survey or whatever. Like, but if these decisions are to be made, why not bring in 2 top players from each county, from the 20 counties or whatever amount of counties compete in the hurling, and ask their opinion on it? They can go back to the whole group as a collective and then bring them together. But for these people in the top brass of Crow Park or whatever it is, like, to be making these decisions, to me it's absolutely nonsense. And they're trying to change something just maybe to have their name in a book to say that they made this rule change or something like that. But to me, it's nonsense, and it should be just left the way it is.
Do you think cynicism is creeping into the game at all? Like, there seems to be a consensus now that, you know, like as a forward, do you find that you're getting dragged down a bit more often by a defender if you're going through and goal? Or?
No, cynicism has been there since 1884. You know what I mean? It hasn't just come in the last 2 years. Like it's always been there. If a forward is beating a defender, he's going to pull him down. He's going to hit him. He's going to do whatever he can to try and get on top of him. And vice versa. Then the forward, if a forward's getting the better, he's going to do everything to try and provoke that corner back or centre back or whatever. Like, cynicism hasn't come in the last few years. Like, it's always been there. It's just been talked about much more now because people are just looking for something to talk to. Why not talk about the good aspects of the game and promote the game in a good sense instead of trying to bring the game down? There's already been so many changes made to football, which in my opinion again are all the wrong changes as well. So why change hurling when there's nothing wrong with it? It's perfectly fine the way it is. Leave it.
Thanks for watching Our Game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.